Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show today on Sunday, the 20th of February, 2022. Thank you for tuning in. Glad to have you guys here. Let's get right in there. We're going to talk about silver. Let's open up the charts. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on here, and I'm going to put a picture. Let me see. Can we expand upon this picture? Yeah, they're Pan American Silver. Now, you know what we're seeing here? They're down inside the mine. And they get a big front end loader, a big truck, and they're filling the truck up full of something called ore. Oh, I know. I mean, this is the basics. Some of you guys know all about this, what I'm talking about, but a lot of people don't. They go to their silver dealer and they say, I want to buy like a tube of silver, or maybe they just want to buy 1 ounce. And they don't realize where the silver actually comes from. Seriously, it comes from the ground. And it comes out of rocks. And the rocks are not silver. No. A lot of people think, hey, the rocks are silver. No, they're not. What they are, here's a big silver mine. Uh, what the rocks are is they have silver in the rocks. Tiny flecks of silver inside the rock. So what they have to do is we seen the first picture. They load the rocks onto trucks with the big front end loaders. First, they have to break the rocks free from other rocks. Load it on the truck, and then they take it to what's called a crusher. Now, this is a silver mine right here. And what we see is these long-looking things that go between the plants. Those are called conveyor belts. And the rock, basically, they have a big rubber mat, real thick. It's heavy. It's like it rolls on the conveyor belt, and the rocks roll on that. And the first step is they have to go through the first crushing. They're big boulders, basically, and they drop them in this machine, and steel jaws come together. Crunch, 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 breaking the rocks up into smaller rocks. And they move them down a conveyor belt to another crusher, which crushes them. And then they do what's called a screening process, where they screen the rocks off into smaller rocks and smaller fragments. And they keep doing this process until they get it down into a fine powder. You see this big tank here on the end of one of the conveyor belts? These are processing tanks. They take this powder and they put it in the tanks and they add chemicals to it and stuff, which separate the silver from the rocks. Now this is a big company, one of the biggest silver mining companies in the world. It's called Pan American Silver. Pan American Silver Corporation is a mining company based in Canada with operations in Latin America. The company has mines and other projects in Mexico, Peru, Bolivia, and Argentina. We're going to take a quick look. First, it says the company extracted 25 million ounces of silver and 160,000 ounces of gold, 55,000 ounces of zinc, and 21,000 tons of lead, and 13,000 tons of copper, I guess in just 1 year, in 2017. So they're a big company. They extend out over these Latin countries. Let's take a look. Here's one of their major mines right here on this little red dot. And up near the Mexican-Canadian border, the Mexican-American border. That one's in Mexico, and that mine is called the La Colorada mine. And then they have another mine here, the Dolores mine in Mexico, not far away from that first mine. And they have another one here, the Huron mine in Peru, near Lima, Peru. They have another one, the San Vincent mine, San Vincent mine, up near Paraguay, near Chile. I guess it's not far from Bolivia. They have another mine down all the way down. Looks like not far from the Falkland Islands. It's way down in the southern tip of it's called the Man and Natal. I mean, I have trouble pronouncing some of these Spanish names. Man and Natal Espilloto. Oh my God, this one's a tough one to pronounce, guys. Anyway, we'll move on. The next one is the Morocha mine in Peru. So those are their mines they have. Pan American Silver. They produce a lot of silver every year. And they also produce these byproduct metals. Like if we take a look here, it says silver, zinc, lead, copper, and gold out of the same mine. So they're producing silver becomes a byproduct of some of these mines. So silver's not something that just magically appears in your silver store, guys. What we're going to talk about now is what has been happening with something that's very important towards silver. And this is your ore grades. So basically it's like this. Explorers, they go out looking for silver. They go out looking for silver deposits around the world. And of course, you know, they've explored most of the silver deposits around the world. Let's put another picture on here. This is another mining operation right here. Pan American Silver, the world's premier silver mining company. Where's a picture of this mine? I want to see it. This is one of their Mexican mines. A couple miners going to work. They look like Latin American people. They probably don't get paid much, considering, but I don't know for sure. But I imagine that the world's premier silver mining company, Pan American, and anyway, I was saying the ore grades. Ore grades around the world are dropping because you got the explorers. They go out and they find the silver deposit. When they first move in on a silver deposit and they establish a mine there and they start to mine, they always go for the gold. They go for the rocks. Basically, that's what the silver comes out of. They go for the area where they're going to find the highest ore grades. What means is the highest concentrations of metals in that particular grade of ore. They grade the ore too, and they say, well, this part of the mine we're going to get the best, highest amount of metals out of each ounce of each ton of ore. 2,200 metric pounds, I think, is a metric ton. And they start to mine it. Well, as years progress, let's just see in here. Generally, they list. It says mine life right here. So in this particular mine, the Morocha mine down in Peru, we're just looking at it here, it says mine life 7.3 years as of January 1st, 2014. That's the life of the mine. When they get it down, they get it all mined out, and the ore grades get too low, it becomes unprofitable. All of them here are listed. Let's look at this one. Mine life 2021. So evidently it expires in 2021. That's last year in this particular mine. Let's take a look here at this one. Mine life 6.2 years as of January 1st, 2014. How far can they go with that? When the ore grades start to drop off, fuel prices are going up. See, this is another thing about silver mining. It's extremely energy dependent. Mostly on diesel fuel is a big one they use. They also use gasoline. They use a lot of electricity to run a mine. And what we're looking at is fuel costs have been increasing lately very rapidly. This raises the cost of production on every ounce of silver that comes out of a mine. And so, of course, when things get tight, you get a spot price that's low, because there's a complete detachment from the spot price from the actual mining production costs. Spot prices are too low like they are right now. I consider these spot prices to be extremely low, considering the cost of mining production. See, you're getting great value when you buy something like silver, real physical silver. Because when you look at that coin, you say to yourself, well, uh, what was the cost to get this thing into this shape and get it all extracted, get it to 999 purity, and so on? It takes a lot of rock. Rock that has to be crushed, moved out of the ground. It takes a lot of physical activity, and it takes a lot of energy. When you got energy prices going up like this, or grades falling, in other words, they get less silver from every ton of rock that they crush. You got a problem there. You got a squeeze happening. It's happening right now. In a lot of these mines, there's no large amount of new exploration going on right now to find new areas to mine. And that's very limited anyway. It's limited to this planet, the surface of this planet. They've been all over this planet, and they've scoured for silver deposits and gold deposits. So what we got is several things coming together here at the same time. We've got a manipulated spot price that's manipulated using futures contracts to the downside. They've been manipulating it to the downside for a very long time. We got rising fuel prices around the world, and silver takes a lot of energy to get it extracted out of the ground. And we got very little exploration going on to find new mines. And these mines have a time limit on how long that they're going to be productive. When a mine gets to the point where it's not considered viable or viable enterprise anymore, oftentimes they'll close the mine down. And they say that mine only has what's called tailings. Tailings, that's what they call it, tailings. And it means that the best way to describe that to you guys is like, when you have a Christmas dinner or whatever, and you have a big turkey, and you put it in the oven and bake it and everything else, right? And they serve it out on the table, and everybody has some. And you slice off the breast meat, and you slice off the legs. And you want a drumstick? Everybody's like, what do you want? And they have their big dinner. Okay? Then the next day, they come in and they cut all the leftovers off of the turkey carcass. And they have another big dinner, right? And then the third day, all that's left in the refrigerator is that carcass. This is what they've done to the mines around the world. And no new exploration to find new mines. So what's happening is all that's being left is tailings. Tailings are what's left on that turkey carcass after the third day. That, if you picture that in your mind as an example, that's what's left in the mine when they start to close the mine down, because it becomes unproductive, because they've hauled all the metal out of the ground. What we're doing is we're scouring the earth, and one after another, these mines are being closed down because all they have left is what's called tailings. Energy prices are going sky high. Ore grades are dropping. I want to point this out to you guys this morning just to let you know what value you're getting when you buy some silver and gold. And what we got coming is a financial system that's on teetering and on the brink. And at the same time, we've got a world that's silver hungry to meet new energy initiatives. This is the perfect storm, guys. Plus, you got to consider another fact I want to mention is that silver was up near $50, near its all-time high price, And back then, the dollar had about twice the purchasing power it does now. you would need $100 silver per ounce silver right now just to equal silver's all-time high, or maybe more, and in the equivalent of its purchasing power. So what I'm trying to point out to you guys is just what a value you're getting with silver. It's not only one of the I consider the world's 2 premium safe haven assets. Not only is it that, but it's also pretty in your hand, Thank you guys for listening to my show. Like and subscribe. We'll catch you guys in the very next episode. Bye-bye.